Nice to see you again.
Always wanted a Mk2 Escort. Grew up with my old man doing autocrossing. And this cropped up. It was £800. Missed out on the championship by 1 point. Stuck in my dad's garage for, I don't know, 10 years. This was the bare shell rebuild that I'd always wanted to do on it.
Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes, this is my beautiful girlfriend Kat, and today we're having a break from the joys and grief, let's be honest, of messing around with my old banger Ford Escorts, and we're going to meet up with a guy called Peter who owns one of my favourite cars from my recent club stand at the Classic Ford show. This is one of them cars that ticks all the boxes. Not only is it stunning to look at, it also boasts a really cool spec with it being a Group 4 rally car, and it has a very interesting story. This car has actually been owned by Peter for about 28 years and he has used it for rallying in the past. He's recently treated it to a full nut and bolt bare metal rebuild, and he's going to be using it for some rallying again in the near future. So really looking forward to getting down to meet back up with Peter and check out this really cool Mk2 Escort in more detail. All right, Peter, nice to see you again. Massive thanks for inviting us down.
No problem.
To check out this awesome beast. Definitely one of my favourites on the club stand recently at the Classic Ford show. Now, before we have a more detailed look around this thing, I want you to talk us through the story, because you've actually owned this thing for a long time. Yeah. And yeah, there is quite a story behind you owning this car. So when did you buy it?
I bought it in 1996. So yeah, I needed a daily, always wanted a Mk2 Escort. Grew up with my old man doing autocrossing. So I've been around rally cars, stuff like since I was 5. And this cropped up, it was £800. I bought it somewhere in the Midlands, can't remember where. Drove it back that day and it was a road rally car. Kind of drove it for 18 months on the road to and from work. And then one dark night, blew up the engine on the way home from work. The capillary pipe popped off the oil pressure switch and yeah, blew it up. So I learnt my lesson. That was the first engine I blew up. And then took it off the road. Luckily, I got a job not long after and I got a company car because I was just sharing one car with my missus. And yeah, took it off the road and decided to build it into a stage car. So built it over the winter. And then I think it was 1998, the first year I started doing autocrossing. So I did a whole season just doing autocross. I think I blew the engine up again that year. Added a limited slip diff through that year, put twin 40s on it. Just slowly developed it.
It was a crossflow car then, right?
It was a crossflow car, yeah. It was a crossflow with a 244 cam in it, 1300 pistons, all that type of stuff. Developed the car through 98 and 99. Started doing a bit of singles venue rallying, tarmac rallying. Over in the West Country, I lived over in Wiltshire at the time. Then kind of got into rallying bigger in terms of trying to do the championship stuff, but I was having to pedal it so fast to keep up with the Vauxhall-Astras and Novas and stuff. 2001, I was chasing the championship, missed out on the championship by 1 point. So then I decided over the winter I'd go and change the engine and just go and do stuff for fun. So that's when I looked around and I wanted to stay 1600 because I didn't want to go up to 2 litre class and be ending up spending 20 odd grand on an engine. So an SBD were doing a kit for the Vauxhall 1600 engine, throttle bodies, the bell housing, exhaust, everything to throw it into a Mk2 Escort, 160 brake on a standard engine, and then up over 200 if you wanted to develop. So that's why I went Vauxhall. So then did a bit more rallying, did like BTRDA, Cambrian Rally, Somerset Stages, that type of stuff. And then yeah, took it off the road probably about 2008 and it was stuck in my dad's garage for, I don't know, 10 years. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to rebuild it. I was going to hit 50. Thought I'd better do it before I hit 50. So yeah, so mate in Bridgewater in Somerset, took the shell, bare metaled it. It's had new bulkhead, new inner arches, new front wings, new rear scuttle panel. New seals, new floor. Yeah, it's just a brand new shell. I think the roof's original. New bonnet and boot, fiberglass, and just went Group 4, so it's 6 linked at the back. Still runs an English axle. Yeah, and hopefully going to get back out rallying later in the year or next year probably. once I get rid of all the teething problems.
So yeah, it literally has had a seriously cool history with you, rallying in its past and going to have some more rallying in its future.
Definitely.
And yeah, one thing I didn't realise when I was speaking to you before is that you did actually switch to the Vauxhall lump years ago. I kind of thought that was just
no,
after its recent rebuild.
2003 I put the Vauxhall engine in and ran it for 2 seasons.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah.
And yeah, you were saying that, you know, the kit was all bought SBD to throw it in. It's running Gen V throttle bodies that you can't see because they're underneath the air filter there. Yeah, one thing that Peter was saying that's really interesting about these engines, you wanted to run this engine so that you could stay in the 1600 class, but you were saying that you can also quite easily convert this to run in the 1400 classes, right?
Yeah. So it's the same. The bottom end is the bit that makes it 1400, 1600. So I can literally take the head, all the ancillaries off this, put it on a 1400 bottom end, and then I can drop down to the 1400 class. Yeah. And when you go gravel rallying in the BTRDA championship, the 1400s run at the front of the field, whereas as a 1600, in the Cambrian I was running like car 100, and by the time all the four-wheel drives have been through, it's like being in the trenches in World War I. And you can't pick a line, you have to go where everybody else went. Yeah. But the 1400s you run at the front, so you get better condition of stages. So that's the option I've got. Yeah. As my mate in Bridgewater, he runs a 1400, and he does tarmac rallying as well, and he runs in the 1400 class there. Yeah. It gives you that option. Yeah. To switch. And obviously the engines are pretty still available, 1400 and 1600, and all the bottom ends are the same, whether it's a C16XE, Z16XE, whatever the code, most of the bottoms are the same. Even the 8-valve Nova engines, it's the same bottom end, but just with an 8-valve head. Ah, cool. So yeah. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. The 1600s have an alloy sump, whereas the 8-valve have a metal sump. So you can take the 8-valve metal sump, modify it and put big wings on it. Hey presto, you've got a big wing sump on your Vauxhall engine, which is what it's a homemade big wing sump on it at the moment. So, nice. So yeah, it's pretty adaptable.
Yeah, no, really cool. But yeah, this thing, obviously being a Group 4 rally car, it does boast a really healthy spec. So yeah, let's walk around it and sort of take in all the details. We'll finish up talking about in the engine bay. Obviously it's running a bias pedal box as it's a rally car. Really interesting to see that this has got a Mk2 Escort rad, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it's a twin cam big header radio, so I think it's got a bigger core in it and a bigger tank on the top. I must have bought that 20 years ago. Yeah. So yeah, that was in it when I was running Crossflow. Yeah. Still got the standard Crossflow rad there.
All right, cool.
So yeah, and it's obviously running fuel injection, so it's got the fuel regulator on the inner wing.
Yeah, so you got the coil pack mounted there as well, no?
Yeah, that's a SBD coil pack.
Cool.
You can run the standard Vauxhall coil pack.
Yeah.
Most guys put it over here, so you can run the standard leads. Yeah. But I put it there. I used to have my fuse box there when I was first put it in. So
that's a good spot to run it. Shall we gloss past the broken alternator bracket?
Alternator bracket.
It's a rally car. You have been working on the rear axle today as well.
Yeah, I've had to use it this week because my daily was in the garage having its clutch done. So I've got a leak on the half shaft. Yeah. This side, the bracket on the alternator broke, and the windscreen wipers have gone squeaky. So, you know, I've done 300 miles in it this week, which is probably 5 rallies. Yeah. The stage mileage. Yeah. And I haven't really driven it. The first I drove it was the Classic Ford Show. Yeah. Since it's been built. So yeah, it's. No,
but as you say, it's a freshly built rally car, so you need to iron out the teething problems anyway, don't you? So it's all part of the process, really, isn't it?
You know, I need to. When I've been driving it, I've realised, the geometry needs tweaking a bit. So it's been a good exercise to drive it for 3 days and iron out all the problems. So. Yeah. But it got me around for the week, so that's important.
Ah, cool, man. Yeah. Just noticed it's got a fiberglass bonnet. Yep. Keep the weight down.
Yeah. Couldn't afford the carbon fibre one.
Really cool.
Spent too much money elsewhere.
Yeah, that's it. But with it being a Group 4 rally car, it's obviously got the rally arches and stuff. Really cool front spoiler on it. I'm loving the gold mini light rims. Really cool against the signal blue paint. That's the same colour as Maud, although hers looks shabby. This is obviously nice and shiny. Yeah, so it's got the rally mud flaps, the proper rally style sleeves in the seals for the rally style axle stands. Obviously this thing's running coilovers all round. What coilovers are they?
Bilstein.
Bilstein.
Yeah.
And the front brakes, 4 pots, no?
Yeah, AP Racing. Forest calipers. Yeah. It's just a kit from Motorsport Tools. I always ran Princess 4 pots before, but yeah, decided on an upgrade.
Yeah, everyone used to throw them Princess calipers on them back in the day, didn't they?
Yeah, they're just getting really rare these days, so yeah. So decided on an upgrade. As I said, everything's new. I decided this was the bare shell rebuild that I'd always wanted to do on it.
That's it.
Yeah, everything's new basically.
Do it once.
Exactly. I'm not going to do it again.
But yeah, under there it's got World Cup cross member. I noticed it's got an anti-dive kit, adjustable track control arms, you know, all the rally goodies. As I say, this is a proper rally car. We will have a look at the cockpit in a minute. Love rally cockpits. See, it's got the plastic windows with the sliders. Round the back, RS style boot spoiler. Yeah,
fiberglass boot as well.
Yeah, cheeky carbon fibre light protectors. Yeah, we will have a look inside the boot. It's got a really cool boot build, like most rally cars do. Loving the pump and filter setup over here. Spare mini light in the middle. Shaped fuel tank, of course. Battery relocated to the boot. One bit I'm really jealous about is this carbon fibre boot floor piece.
Tidy up a boot floor that's got holes in it and welded up.
Oh, right, yeah.
Spin around a bit. Transit battery.
Oh, right, cool.
Ford Transit.
Yeah, plenty of juice in that.
Exactly, yeah.
Ah, cool. Loving all the braided lines and stuff as well, with the red and blue fittings.
Yeah, and you have to have the sample point now for rallying.
Oh,
so
right.
that's what this hose is for. Plug it on and take a sample to make sure you're only running pump fuel.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
That's a requirement.
That's serious.
Yeah, this is, I saw this in Frank Kelly's car.
All right.
I wanted 2 pumps because a few years back I was navigating for a mate on the Somerset stages. No, the Widing. I was navigating and we were actually running up as high as 5th in the 1400s and then his fuel pump failed. And it's like, if you had twin pumps, you'd have finished 5th. But yeah, we managed to get it going again and we ended up 9th, but it was just like, yeah, I'm going to run twin pumps. Yeah,
now a lot of the rally cars do, don't they?
Yeah.
Now, while I am at this end of the car, I've got to show you his rear axle setup. We'll start round here, where conveniently the rear wheel is removed because Peter's been tinkering. But obviously, you know, this thing's running coilovers at the back, and it's running a 6-link setup on the rear axle. So you've got the 2 bars either side there, and then it's got the Watts linkage on the back. But interestingly, this is actually an English axle.
It's a Capri 52-inch axle, so it's the same width as an Atlas, but obviously English.
Yeah.
I think I went this way because I already had the slipper and stuff, and I think I bought the axle case in and a half shafts. I got it for like 200 quid or something.
Yeah.
So I just thought, yeah, I'll throw that in for now. I'll probably uprate the half shafts similar to you've got in Esther.
Yeah.
So I'll do that when I need to, once the power's up a bit higher. And yeah, I mean, my mate runs an English in his Mark II on tarmac and hasn't broken a half shaft yet. So yeah, I think the weak link is the half shaft. So if you upgrade them, they're perfectly good enough. Yeah. And they're a lighter casing than an Atlas as well. So no, you don't. There's all this technical stuff about sprung load and that. So apparently it's better to have a lighter sprung load. So yeah, so I just went that way. And it seems to work good.
Right, it's literally like the ultimate English setup, isn't it? Obviously you've got rear disc brakes and stuff, coilovers, as I say.
Sierra Cosworth rear calipers over Fiesta Mark II front discs.
All right, cool.
Something like that. They're solid at the moment. Might have to upgrade to vented on the back, but I've never really had any trouble. They stop all right. They lock up on the handbrake, so that's all you want.
That's it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll give you a view from the back. Really cool that you can get these Watts linkages that just weld onto the back of an English axle. As you can see, the underside of this thing is really mint as well. Be a shame to get all this dirty in the stages.
Yeah. That's why you have to put a new floor in after you've done 10 years in the gravel. So.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see there's the other side, rear setup all together, of course, because this side isn't leaking diff oil. Right, so that brings us on to the cockpit. And I love what's going on in there. Plenty of details to take in. Really cool flat-bottomed steering wheel. Still got the Escort clocks in it, but the dash has been flocked. Of course, it's got a full roll cage, pair of Sparco bucket seats with really cool blue motor mech harnesses. But yeah, this thing runs Type 9 gearbox. Yeah, check out all the switches and stuff on the dash. Really cool navigator's footrest. Really big tunnel holding the gearbox. Loving all the lines running down here. As we've already mentioned, it's got a bias pedal box. Corsa B power steering kit. This will be the adjustment for the bias pedal box, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, really cool.
Now it's got the adjuster for the power steering's around the other side.
All right.
So you can turn that up and down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And the dash was sort of... I was looking at your video the other day about...
Heidi's dash.
Yeah. And I was thinking, like, I just bought the metal plate that it just goes over the top of the plastic.
All right.
Box. Yeah. You have to cut the box, you know, the plastic box out.
Yeah.
I was debating whether to go for a panel like you've got in Esther or that, so I went for that in the end.
Oh, I think it's smart.
And then
really cool.
Fitted the clocks, these cheap clocks off eBay underneath. And then these are the two switches for the heated front window.
Oh yeah, you got heated screen as well.
So you can switch it off driver's side, because they're like 20 amps, so you don't want to be running them all the time.
All right, cool.
So yeah, just enough to clear the screen. And I've moved the fuse boxes inside, so this is, the bottom one is basically the standard Escort fuse box replacement, and then the top one is for like, you've got the fuel pumps, the heated windows, spotlights, fuses, so that's like the extras.
Yeah, really cool. So, and it's got the modern type fuses in there.
Yeah.
Really easy to get to and change if you need to.
Yeah, and then obviously you've got map light.
Yeah, nice.
Interior light, and then this one turns the intercom on and off.
Oh yeah, got an intercom.
I've still got to put fire extinguishers in for the
that's a requirement, is it? Yeah.
I didn't want to buy them too early because obviously they're dated. So
oh yeah. So do you have to run plumbed fire extinguishers? You can't just run the sticks.
No, you have to run a plumbed fire extinguisher. Right. Two nozzles in the cab and 3 nozzles in the engine bay, and then handheld as well.
Yeah, I've got fire sticks in mine, like recommended by Frank Kelly. Like
they reckon they're better than.
They're really cheap, man. They last like 10 years, I think. Yeah.
The MSA will catch up one day.
They're a bit backwards.
Well, we used to. So obviously legislation changed, and we have to run AEEE now, and it's just like soapy water, isn't it? They're just rubbish.
Right.
Whereas before we used to run BCF or whatever it was before, and they were really effective.
Right.
But because of environmental issues, you can't run CFCs. So we run the AEEE, and there's been quite a few cars got burnt out. And I think that's why Frank carries his fire stick, because there were so many problems with it. So,
the way Frank said it to me is that the plumbed-in fire extinguisher is there to save your life, but not save your car.
Yeah.
But he wanted to save his car.
I've got one up there on the side for in the workshop. So
well worth having. But yeah, I just love looking at rally cockpits. There's just so much to take in, you know, all the details, all the extra parts that are fitted. I love that they're sort of stripped out, you know, full roll cage. This one looks awesome. You can see the rear suspension turrets in the back and stuff. As we've already mentioned, it's a proper full Group 4 rally car. Loving the carbon effect door cards as well.
Yeah, I couldn't go for full carbon. When I was running it before, I used to have the standard door cards in, and then I ended up getting some aluminium and making my own.
Yeah.
But as this time I wanted to like attention to detail and try and make it as clean as possible.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that need touching up, but yeah, it's getting there.
They're never finished though, are they? Like, you know?
No. I'll be wanting to build another engine, and then I want to go 6-speed sequential gearbox.
Nice. Yeah. That's the ultimate.
Yeah. But that's like another $6,000.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Build half a car for what one of them costs.
Exactly.
Nah, really cool. Awesome cockpit. Now, unfortunately, we can't go for a joyride in this today because it's still in bits, of course, but we may as well hear the Vauxhall lump sing whilst it's in here. Yeah, sounds really cool. Sounds really nice on those Gen V throttle bodies. And that was only about 6,000?
Yeah.
What's it rev up to?
We took it to 8 on the rolling road, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So,
what power did this make? I don't think we mentioned it in the video.
156.
156. Plenty for an old Escort.
Yeah, well, I think, so it's got a ported head on it, but I think it's standard cams.
Right.
So I think to take advantage of the head, it would need a set of rally cams in it.
I'm in the same boat. Like, my ported head gave Esther an extra 5 brake. But apparently if I put cams in it, then it'll really sort of make the most of it.
Need to take advantage of the extra stuff. But I just wanted saying, as I said, this engine was bought 100 quid off eBay. Yeah. And I put a set of mains and big end shells in it, and then took it to the rollers, and I was like, it's going to blow up. It's going to blow up. But it didn't. Went through fine. It's pushing out a bit of oil out the top, so I reckon it needs a set of rings.
Yeah,
but
you didn't do the rings.
I didn't do the ring, didn't take the head off at all. Because when I compression tested it, had 200 PSI. So I was like, well, the rings are fine.
Yeah.
But now it's down to about 140 or something.
Right.
So, yeah. So
scope for plenty more power then?
It needs doing, yeah. Or I'll rebuild one of the, like, that's the old engine that was in it.
Oh, right, yeah.
On the stand, so I'll rebuild the bottom end on that and then just bolt this head on it.
Yeah.
I went to Northampton Motorsport to get it.
Rolling Road. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, I'd recommend them.
Yeah.
They're really good. So I'm talking to them about building another engine, like a proper engine.
Yeah.
Getting some high compression pistons.
Are you going to go all out?
Yeah. I want 200 brake in it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be naughty.
That's my target, 200 brake. And if it's pushing that out, I want it still to be drivable though.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, 200.
And you're saying this engine is pretty like drivable, low down and stuff?
It's like, can't remember what the torque figures was. I've got it in my phone somewhere, but it was like flat torque,
right, nice.
Over 100 pounds-foot torque. So yeah, it drives like a road car. I was in 5th gear at 2,000 revs and just put my foot on it, would drive up. Yeah, so. Yeah,
it's nice. And obviously you were saying that you came from crossflows with roughly the same power because they were Larry crossflows. And like a crossflow with this power, there's nothing down low, is there?
No. My crossflows were Larry, but undrivable on the road.
Everything at the top end.
Everything's,
You know, which is cool, but
it is.
If you want drivability, it's not. Like,
and for rallying, you really want that torque, low end torque out the corners.
Yeah, true.
And the crossflows were so fragile.
Yeah.
I was rebuilding them like 2 a year.
Yeah.
Changing the oil every event, like just to stop them seizing up.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've blown a couple of these up. So on one of these, I snapped a head off a valve. And it rattled around and then disappeared down the exhaust. And when I got the piston out, it looked like someone had taken a chisel to the top of it.
But kept running?
Kept running.
Oh, right.
3 cylinders,
so it didn't seize up? Or,
I finished the stage.
Oh, right.
And then thought, I better stop now.
That's quality.
It was. And then, and I put a rod out the side of the block on this as well. Oh, I did do an autocross in 1995 before I got this in. My old man used to have a Mark 1 Frog Eye Sprite with a 1500 pre-cross flow and 2000 E-box and a 105 E back axle. And that was the first event I ever did. I beat my dad, but I blew the car up on the run, put a rod out the side of the engine. So at that point, my dad got rid of the Sprite and we ended up building a rear-wheel drive Mark 1 Fiesta. It was my brother's road car. And we put it in the garage, hacked it apart and just, put the 1500 in that. So.
And how long ago was that?
That was 1995.
Wow, rear-wheel drive Fiesta, that must have been sort of quite a rare thing to do in them days. I know loads of people are doing it now, but...
Oh, yeah. We basically put the Escort, or put everything out of the Sprite into that.
Oh, right.
Same back axle, same gearbox, same engine, all went into it. It took him 5 years to build it.
Yeah.
In a single garage.
Yeah.
So we've done a bit. And then he sold that. Barry's got that now. He's putting a Vauxhall engine in it now to do autocrossing in it.
Oh, right, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you've clearly had like a long history of messing about with cars.
And lots of just club stuff, club motorsport. That's the thing. People think motorsport's expensive.
Yeah.
Obviously it is if you build one of these.
Yeah.
But when I started, the car cost me 800 quid and I was on a real shoestring budget and autocrossing, 50 quid an entry fee, a few beers in the pub the night before.
Yeah.
It was a real family event. My old man was a plumber, didn't have loads of money to throw at motorsport. He actually started like in 1975 and they did their first autocross in his mate's company car.
All right.
It was a Hillman Avenger.
All right.
It was his company car.
All right.
They moved it. I think they moved the axle sideways, so they drove out of the event and drove it down a ditch and then phoned the AA.
Really?
In those days, I suppose you could.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I'm a strong believer in join your local motor club and go and do cheap motorsport.
Yeah, no, there's levels to everything, isn't it? Like, I mean, none of it's cheap anymore, but
no.
There is levels to everything.
I'm never going to be world champion, but I can go and have a lot of fun.
Nah, that's it, man. That's it. That's what it's all about, having fun, man.
Yeah, definitely.
could stay here chatting all day to you, but I know you've got somewhere you need to be this afternoon.
I do, yeah.
So yeah, we do need to get out of your way. But yeah, massive thanks for allowing us all to check out this beast, and good luck with your future rallying endeavours.
You'll have to come back when we can drive it.
I'm definitely up for coming back for a passenger ride. It'd be awesome to experience this thing. But as I say, yeah, it's just really cool looking around it today. Well, what an awesome machine Peter's Mk2 Escort rally car is, and it's really cool that it's going to be soon back out on the stages being driven in anger like any rally car should. Hopefully I'll get a chance to revisit Peter and actually experience that thing from the passenger seat, but for now I want to send another massive thanks out to Peter and his missus for allowing us round to check the car out. Do let us know in the comments what you guys think of Peter's creation. But other than that, I'm going to end this video right here. Massive thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in. If you thought it was any good, please do give it a thumbs up and a share. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Check the links in the description to my social media and that sort of thing. Massive thanks, as always, to my patrons for your ongoing support. But other than that, I'll chat to you guys in the next video.